Okay, so we're talking Disney and Pixar's latest film, Inside Out.
Right. Vicky Vale
so
exclusive.
Pixar Animation Studios, in my opinion, have never let me down except for Cars. But, you know, everyone's allowed one bad film. And they made two.
Cars. You didn't like Cars, man.
No. It looked stunning, but something about it just didn't fit right with me. I don't know what it was. Just didn't enjoy it as much. But Inside Out, now they're back to a winning formula, in my opinion. Pixar Animation Studios have done it again. They come up with these amazing ideas, and they cram it together. And what we get, in my opinion, is like this original children/adult film, which you know we'd never see anything like this in mainstream cinema. So for them to come out with something like this, I think it worked really well. And it's one of the few films where they kind of concentrate on the female lead again. Brave was one of them, and they're always kind of like, there's not many, but this was around that. Obviously, a lot of the characters were both, you know, they were male voices, they were female voices, but yeah, it was really well done. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay, so you're going to be bigging up
everything you say. I'll big it up. I loved it.
Good, because I have quite the opposite view on it. For me, I found it kind of disappointing. Obviously, you didn't. You
I
enjoyed
loved it. Every bit of it. There's not one part that I did not like.
Really? Okay. So should we go with your positives first, or
so let's start with the concept and the idea. Everything about it is great because there isn't anything that we've seen that kind of emulates something where you put characters in someone's head and kind of just play them out, and you get the sense of like each character that was inside there is so different, and you start to believe that, you know what, they actually sat down with a psychology major and worked out that this is actually true, and this is what does happen, this is how we do things.
It does have some elements of truth, yeah.
I think it's very authentic in that manner, and and it's funny as well, as with all Pixar animation films. There are adult jokes and there are children jokes in there, and they just mesh it so well.
Okay. Characters for me. Okay, let's just do contrast of each point then. Characters for me, they're obviously based on emotions.
Yeah.
They're quite, I think. So when we're sticking with all the characters that are in the head, they're kind of shallow. Obviously, one-dimensional because they're supposed to be emotions. So one's angry, etc.
Yeah, so they were done brilliantly, I think. They were spot on.
And the the characters outside of the head, what do you think of them then?
Again, they're not really the main part of the story because we're kind of like concentrating on the guys inside. So they're there. They kind of could have fleshed out a little bit better, but overall, considering the film is called Inside Out first, not outside in, then I guess that the premise should be on the guys inside, and that's what I felt. They'd fleshed them out more than they'd done the outside world, but I didn't see that as a big problem because we still cover it, but not as well as maybe some people may have liked. But it is a children's film as well at the same time, so we don't want to spend too much time. We don't want the length of the film to be too long either. So you have to kind of grip kids' attention, and 94 minutes is about right.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I'll come up with a positive then. As a children's movie, it did deliver something quite good in that it sort of introduced the sort of psychology and emotion and the whole idea of the film. You know, what comes out of it is the idea that you can feel sad and it's okay. You don't have to be happy all the time.
Exactly.
You know, being sad helps you connect with people. So, yeah, that side was very good. Okay.
Because these kind of things children aren't taught, and they kind of like just become very one-dimensional, and it is good to see all of that, and kids can see that play out in kind of characters in different ways, because we don't just concentrate on the one child. We do have other characters interacting. So it's good that way. And to cram it all into such a short film, I think that they did an excellent job. It just can't be flawed.
Yeah. And of course, the other positive is the emotion. Not just the emotions inside, but the emotional aspect of the film. Always Disney and Pixar, they come out, or always, definitely with Disney, they've always got an emotional pull. There's always got something to cry about, and definitely there was something quite deep. You really get to feel for the girl, the main character on the outside world. I certainly did.
I think that's the joy of a film like this. It's quite layered. It's not just like a straightforward kind of kids film where you expect it to be a certain way and it kind of ends. This had more to it. I think that's why it kind of had the highest kind of opening weekend for any original film ever made. So it beat out Avatar and made 90 million in its opening weekend. So we're talking huge numbers. So people must have liked something about this film to go back and watch it, or even initially pre-book for it. So this was huge.
Okay, so now something that annoys me then. Okay, I've tried to look at the positives of it. The film got a lot of. It had a good pull at the box office. You can't really say that's just because the film was good, because we'd been hearing about this film for months before it came out, like it was this huge successful film before we'd even seen it. And that's one thing that annoyed me, is that I'd been hearing about this film for literally, I don't know how long, maybe even a year, 6 months, a year. I felt like it was around me all the time, and the film hadn't even come out. Finally you get to see it, and for all of its positives, I don't think it delivered what it claimed it was. It didn't really deliver quite the same amazing experience that it sort of claimed it was producing.
I think when you think about marketing for any film, there's like The Good Dinosaur's been in production for as long, and the teaser came out finally this year, but the stuff is around for ages. Like Batman vs Superman, there's a lot of pre-build up for it already. Suicide Squad's got a similar sort of thing. Civil War's got things coming up already, and it's still a year away, so every film's going to have hype around it. I don't see that as a problem for films nowadays.
Maybe it's just me, because I really do love the Disney Pixar movies, and after Frozen, I was looking for another really good, something that could connect with girls more as well, something a bit more interesting than they usually do. So I was really quite looking forward to what they were going to do. So so maybe it's more personal to me that I got duped a bit by the marketing. Usually I try to go in with low expectations.
Yeah, if you think your Mission Impossible films, all of them, they have hype around them. They spend ages advertising. You got the trailers out for ages, interviews and stuff. It depends what you get sucked into as to how much you're kind of engrossed into that early marketing. So I never see that as an issue, as long as the film delivers and is still good and is sound in every way. Then it's not a problem, because I have
to say this film does deliver. It is a good movie, so
it's like we've already got
I got hyped.
A teaser of Infinity Wars when we watched the last Avengers film, and Infinity Wars won't be out for as many years, so it's always going to be the case. So I don't see that as an issue. But yes, I know what you mean. Like when it's in your face for that long, it can get a bit tiresome.
And also just the fact that it was good to see inside a head. That was all very interesting, but does it really help? Does it really identify with this girl any more than just as a human being, or does it actually give any? I guess what I'm trying to say is this movie going to be a good movie for specifically girls, or is it not actually got anything to do with her gender at all? I didn't feel there was any part of her gender.
No. I don't think it is.
Even though they sort of advertised it as then the next sort of girl film, it wasn't really a girl film. It was just a film. So yeah, it was a good movie. The visuals were very good, but again, I think
as would expect,
the very abstract graphics. I preferred that in Wreck-It Ralph. I preferred this sort of abstractness of that. I didn't find this abstractness as interesting.
I guess that's two different studios. That's Disney Animation Studios. This is Pixar Animation Studios. Because Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen, Tangled, they're all Disney. This is just Pixar on its own. So Pixar movies just look stunning. It's just something about the way they make them. Like Monsters University, Monsters Incorporated, even Incredibles, Finding Nemo, Up. All of them just look stunning. For when they came out, they just cutting edge technology. But I know what you mean. They can look a bit too good. They could just look a little bit too
good.
And therefore you kind of, like the pixel world of Wreck-It Ralph kind of humanizes the films and kind of just brings something else to it, I guess, But everything about this film was great. I would give it the highest rating possible, but not quite an 11, but a good 9.5, 9.6.
9.5. You don't like going to 10, do you?
No.
9.5.
9.6.
I'm going to try. I've tried to cast aside my my personal hang-ups with it, because at the end of the day, it's a good movie. I can definitely give it a 8.5. So I've got a half in there as well.
So it's
not quite a 9.
Not quite a 9. Not as good as Mission Impossible, but it's still up there.
No. Yeah, I mean, it definitely had its flaws, but it's definitely a good movie. I mean, it does something different, and I'm looking forward to a sequel. They give a bit of a hint to a sequel at the end.
Yeah, it's the thing with Pixar. When they used to first make movies, they used to make them as one brand new standalone story film, and then years later they make a sequel, which was Toy Story 2. But generally, they didn't revisit a lot of the original classics. So we're finally getting sequels turned out from Pixar, which is quite unusual, really.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think everyone's doing them.
One. Yeah, they marketed this one well enough to get a huge box office. So I don't see why they wouldn't have a sequel, because they've obviously got the marketing for it already.
Yeah, I'm obviously they're churning out many sequels now. So we've had Monsters University already, Toy Story 1, 2, 3, 4 underway. Incredibles 2 finally might happen. Cars 1 and 2. Ratatouille never got a sequel. WALL-E never got a sequel. Up never got a sequel. Obviously, Brave hasn't got a sequel yet. Monsters got a prequel. So yeah, it's good to see that they are churning out sequels, because let's be honest, DreamWorks have been doing it for many a year. So it's about time that we saw Incredibles 2 or Finding Dory. It's films that we've been crying out for years. So I'm looking forward to it. I love this film. Another strong Pixar film. 9.6. Definite classic.
9.6. It's gone up.
9.6.
I'm telling mine's at 8.6.
Brilliant.
Or maybe 8.4, just to spite.
Just to spite me. Brilliant.
Just to spite you and your 9.6 of 8.4.
My Pixar loving.
It's still an average of 9.
It's higher than Mission Impossible for that matters.
Okay, yeah, that's true. 8.5 on average. Okay. So yeah, that was Inside Out.
Henna.
And